Welcome to another live episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we discuss the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, Badgers football, and basketball from an optimistic perspective. Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Welcome back to another episode of Wisco Fanatics. That will never get old, I'll just say that. I want to say another thank you to our sponsor, Cardboard Legacy. Thank you again. It's been a great partnership so far, but we're going to get this episode started. We're going to talk about the Cowboys-Packers game, and we're going to preview the Packers-49ers game, which happens tomorrow night, which feels amazing. One more sleep, fellas. But I'm going to start with you, Bryant. How was your week, buddy?
Pretty, busy week. I was kind of telling you I got a little bit sick on Tuesday. Then we had our holiday party that, I was a big part of on Thursday. And then today I finished up some tattooing. And then but pretty good week overall. I put a backsplash in my kitchen too. So did a whole lot of stuff this week. Man. Yeah, so I'm excited to relax tomorrow and Sunday and then get ready for Monday. Hopefully,
we know how you operate. You'll relax until game time, and then you'll be a stress ball. So that'll be fun for you. Simon, how was your week, bud?
Yeah, it was pretty par for the course. Nothing exciting going on over here. Oh, we had an earthquake today.
Alaska, that probably released like
nothing exciting, and then end the sentence with an earthquake.
I forgot that happened. That happened today. It was like 30 miles southeast of us.
Yeah, it probably cracked the ice, and now the Yetis are going to climb on them.
Yeah, now the Yetis are going to climb. All the narwhals start fucking coming through.
Got to recapture all the moose they had penned up.
Mm-hmm. All the bears are pissed off and awake now.
Hey, we were able to get Simon in on the play breakdowns this week, so that happened.
Yeah, that's true.
That was fun, Simon. We got you in on that. You were a little nervous. I felt you were a little uptight, but you eased into it, man. It was fun. We'll have to get Bryant in.
Easy once you just start talking.
I always wanted you to just go. I mean, we don't really have like a set of rules when we do that stuff, man. Just go. Whatever you see, man, just say it. And hopefully we're going to bring them up again today because there's a couple really good ones. So I know we'll bring them up again so we can laugh at the Cowboys like we have been all week. It's been a fun week for everybody at work, I assume, because everybody knows a Cowboys fan, right? At least one.
That's the caption.
So it's been a fun week for everybody. I know I have a couple 49ers fans at my work as well, so I gave them a look. I gave them a look at when I left. I said, "You better hope we don't win. I'm on your ass all week next week, boy."
All right, so we can jump right in. We can get to the stars, and we're going to start at the top. Number one star, Jake has the first two. We're doing two. We're doing two each. We're doing one on each side of the ball again because it's just another one of those games where you couldn't decide just on one, one.
Are we just going to do both stars, or are we going to go offense and then defense? I feel like that'd be better.
Both. Give them both.
Do them both? Okay. So my first one, I have Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs was amazing. Matt LaFleur did an awesome job, first of all, of scheming him open, I thought. Romeo Doubs had 6 catches for 151 yards and 1 touchdown. Also, we had some controversial comments on the YouTube page. I just want to address that real quick. He destroyed Stephon Gilmore, okay? Like, we're not doing this stuff where, like, he didn't, like, cook him, and he cooked him, okay? He cooked all the Cowboys defense.
Safety was going to be there.
The safety was going to be there, and then the safety wasn't going to be there. So, I mean, it is what it is. I just want to say that he had a really, really good game. Darnell Savage obviously made one, if not the biggest impact play. He was my other star. He's my star on the defense. Darnell Savage had 4 tackles, 3 solo, and he had a pass breakup and a pick 6. The pick 6 was an amazing play called by Joe Barry, but man, what a play for him to show his athleticism and his football IQ. I think they have to let him play closer to the line of scrimmage and let him make plays like that. But I have Romeo Doubs and Darnell Savage.
Hey, for Darnell, I don't know that was a good play call by Joe Barry, but Darnell definitely read Dak Prescott going on because he was covering the outside slant, jumped off of that and went and picked it. I mean, so credit to him too for sure for that.
I agree.
Scott, to answer your question, I believe A.J. Dillon is listed as questionable.
Yep, he is.
Yeah.
Who's listed out? Just King Bari, right?
Yeah,
Egbari so far.
And McDuffie is probably not going to play, I'll be honest.
Alexander's questionable as well.
I mean, he's a run stopper and he had a stinger.
So
So that's
right now, the official injury designations are Enigbari is out, and then Dylan, Alexander, McDuffie, and Whelan are questionable. I forgot about Whelan.
Yeah,
so,
sick.
interesting. I think John.
Also, you've heard us reference a couple times play breakdowns. If you go on the Wisco Fanatics Facebook or YouTube pages, there's a whole bunch of them that we did this week, Jake, Simon, and myself. We broke down about a dozen plays from the Packers and Cowboys game, which we'll do the same after the 49ers game. But Simon has our number 2 stars.
Yeah, I mean, how can you leave out Jordan Love? I'll get into him later, but 272, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. I mean, near perfect passer rating. What else can you expect? For defense, I got Jair. He gave up 2 catches on 3 looks for 25 yards, had an interception on their side of the field, which led to another touchdown and 6 total tackles. Did a really good game.
All right. Bryant has number 3s.
Yeah, so not that he's the 3rd star in the game. He could be right there, number 1, but Aaron Jones, obviously. I mean, the 4th game in a row, he goes for over 110. He had like 118 yards again, 21 carries, 3 touchdowns. More touchdowns in this game than he had all in the regular season. So that's impressive. We're going to need him to keep rolling because let's be honest, like it's been huge, over 20 carries and over 110 yards in the last 4 games. And look what happened. Our offense has been absolutely humming. We had one game where we put up like 17, but we probably should easily put it into the 30s. Then for defense, I picked Keyshawn Nixon, kind of all over the field, had, 11 tackles, 7 solo, which is impressive. And then you had two pass defenses, and then he had the sack. So pretty much, other than, either intercepting or fumble recovery, you pretty much put a notch in the majority of the stat lines for the game. So just, a solid game for him. And I expect some big things from him this game, hopefully.
So I have the underrated performers on the offensive side of the ball. Looking at, look at skill position, guys. I couldn't ignore how well the Packers offensive line played. So for my underrated performer with the entire offensive line, they allowed 5 pressures, 4 quarterback hurries, and 1 quarterback hit. He was actually hit more than once, but those were unblocked pass rushers. So the offensive line themselves did a very good job. And then defensively, this is a little foreshadowing. I'm going to come back to him later, but we broke down a couple of plays from Lucas Van Ness. And I've talked about him a couple times here and there over the last few weeks that I think he's growing as a run stopper. And then in this game, we got to see him do a really great pass rush and then not give up on a play and chase Dak Prescott down from behind, which, again, that's one of those plays that Jake, Simon, and myself broke down the other day. It's on the Facebook page and YouTube channel, so you can see those there. And I'm sure we'll talk more about the offensive line and and Lucas Van Ness later. But we're going to start, like we usually do, with Bryant. Esmeralda asked, hey, guys, from Fontana, California, what do you guys think our chances tomorrow are? I have a good feeling about taking this W. I hate the 49ers. Time for the Pack to win after an 0-for-4. I mean, I think we'll get into it, but I think the chances they're fair.
Yeah.
I don't think
Great
we're
name, by the way.
some crazy
Great
underdog.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have a whole preview for it coming up after we recap the Cowboys game. So, Bryant, wide receiver development.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already talked about one of our stars, Dobbs. I kind of said, I would think either last week or week prior, hey, he's been slow in the stat sheet, but he's just a constant contributor, and all of a sudden he just explodes. You know what I mean? First 100-yard game ever. I mean, he was open anytime he wanted in the middle of the field. Put Stephon Gilmore in the washing machine the one play, and then just he showed a little bit of speed on the one that he kind of caught down by his thighs too, and then he ran away for another 20 yards, and then so that was a great play. And then the touchdown, he read that perfectly, and I think he talked about it. He wasn't supposed to be he wasn't the player on that play, but he kind of noticed, Love scrambling, and then he looks around, and you can see him kind of look, and he steps back and just finds an open spot, and then Love finds him. So he had a big game. Wicks continues to contribute. That touchdown was gorgeous. After that, though, I mean, honestly, I think that we could have literally talked about Christian Watson being an underrated performer because I know for sure. Like I didn't go back and I didn't get a chance to rewatch the game because I had such a busy week. But I know for sure there was one play where you see 3 defenders just chase walk down the field and Dobbs is wide open. And it's probably, I think it was the first passing game of the game, really big play of the game. And think about how big that first drive became for us. Because don't forget, we were at like 3rd and 9, and then Jordan Love takes that step back and hits, Dobbs to midfield, and then the rest is history. But so the fact that him and Reed combined for 1 catch and 9 yards and we put up 48 points is pretty scary. So
yeah.
I'll give the disclaimer that it's 41. The defense obviously gave
41. Yeah, 41 points. Yeah,
but yeah, still 41 points from the offense is wild.
Yep.
And the tight ends were a factor. So I'm gonna go bottom up. So with Benny Sims, he played 13 snaps. I have no complaints. He's one of those guys where it's like I think when we get into the draft, we might consider taking a late round tight end just to see if we can get one that's a little more versatile. And nothing against Benny Sims, and it just the fact of the matter is he was an undrafted free agent, and he just I'm saying he doesn't possibly have potential to bring things to the table, but I mean the Packers are going to have picks, so maybe take a flyer on a guy with some higher potential. That said,
you'll probably stick as a 4th tight end, or depending,
and that could be whether maybe Tyler Davis hangs it up or looks for opportunity elsewhere. Josiah DeGuara is probably not going to be in the equation, so I do think tight end is probably still going to be part of the formula for the draft.
That's fair.
Tucker Kraft, he's the de facto number 1 while Musgrave is still returning from his injury. Matt LaFleur did say he's potentially in line for some more snaps, so Musgrave might play more. But Tucker Kraft played 45 snaps. He had a good game with room to improve. So like Tucker Kraft had a good game, and he could play even better. I think his blocking is there, and I still think he's got a couple times here and there where he misses some blocks or he's susceptible to Micah Parsons. So I mean I'll give him a pass on that. But Luke Musgrave 15 snaps, and he still managed to find 3 for 3 for 52 yards and a touchdown, and he stayed on his feet. That's what Matt LaFleur was excited about, staying on the feet.
That shit was funny.
That was awesome. Yeah. And the locker room loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. So passing game distribution. Jordan Love threw 21 passes. He still threw to 8 different guys. That's crazy. We are now going into our second playoff game. We've played 18 games this season, and Jordan Love has not targeted fewer than 7 players a single week. That's what negates good defensive backs, because you can't say, okay, we're going to put our best guy on your best guy, and then you're going to be screwed. And like, it didn't matter who Deron Bland or Stephon Gilmore were guarding. It didn't matter because the Packers have so many guys they can use. And I'm going to have a breakdown of it coming out. Brian pointed it out that there's plays where Christian Watson's gravity just takes 1, 2, 3 defenders away and lets Romeo Doubs just sit down in the middle of the Dallas Star and just rack up yards.
Love that.
You're going to love this.
I heard a funny joke real quick this weekend. Someone said it's not a logo, it's a rating.
Oh,
I've seen that before.
I like it. All right. So you guys are going to love this. When Jordan Love was targeting Luke Musgrave, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, and Aaron Jones, those 5 players, he was 13 for 13 for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Bro, you don't even have Tucker Kraft or Jaden Reed. Like, we got other players that could be X Factor players. Like, dude, it's over. It's so over, dude. Oh, my God.
He targeted 5 players with 13 passes and had a better game than Justin Fields has ever had in his career.
Oh, boom. I like it.
All right. So Jordan Love, the passing game distribution, 3 touchdowns to 3 different players. 2 of them were rookies. 3 players had 3 targets. Romeo Doubs had the 6 targets. He had 6 catches. Jordan Love was 2 for 2 behind the line of scrimmage, 6 for 9 from 0 to 9, 4 for 5 from 10 to 19, and 4 for 5 on 20-plus yard passes.
Ooh.
So Jordan Love, just fantastic, spreading the ball around to different players, different depths of the field. And Jordan Love targeting the middle of the field, 8 for 9 for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, the distribution is just fantastic. Like, there's no other way around it. Jordan Love is just spreading the ball around so well and finding the open receivers. It's fantastic. I'm going to come back to this on a coaching note as well. But that said, Simon, how do you feel about the offensive line?
Before I hit O-line, I thought, because did you see that they were interviewing Reed at his locker with the helmet on his head? He had like Aaron Jones' kid's helmet on his head. And they were talking about Reed not having any catches, and he's like, I really don't care. And that's the things you want to hear from the receivers. Like, and they're getting out and they're digging out some of these dirty blocks on the outside. I don't know if you saw the outside run by Aaron Jones near the inside the red zone. Like both Reed and Wicks are getting in there. And like what I can't remember which one was which, but it was Reed basically got like inside leverage on a guy, so Aaron Jones was able to cut to the outside, and you just see Wicks like push a guy all the way out of bounds, so he was like non-factor in the play.
Yeah, I think it was Reed that pushed the guy out of bounds, and Wicks like pancaked the guy.
Did you guys see the Reed and Aaron Jones video during the game?
Yes. Yeah. We should really share that.
Yeah, that's some great stuff right there.
Yeah. Bill said, I love that stat. If you don't know who the ball is going to, how do you defend? That in itself gives us a real shot tomorrow. That is absolutely a fact. You have to game plan for like 9 different guys in the passing game.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we've had 3 straight weeks of 3 different guys getting 100 yards after not having a 100-yard receiver.
Yep.
So that right there is just like – and then you got to think about Christian Watson. That guy can have 100 yards and 2 catches, man. He could have a 75-yarder and then have a 25-yarder. He really could. He's that good.
Yeah. All right. Simon, how do you feel about the O-line?
Yeah, O-line, what a tremendous week. And also I think Matt LaFleur's game plan to neutralize Micah Parsons was also just fantastic. Aaron Jones really stuck his head and did a lot of the dirty work in pass pro too. And there was just some really good heads up plays. One of the plays we broke down with Sean Ryan where Aaron Jones, Sean Ryan kind of whiffed on the block from Micah Parsons. Aaron Jones was right there. And then Sean Ryan didn't give up, turned his head and picked up a stunt that was happening on the other side of him. But I mean, you can't even be mad. 4 total pressures, 0 hits, 0 sacks. I thought they did really good at digging out some holes in the run game too. Like another Aaron Jones is Aaron Jones, but like also I feel like I think maybe besides part of the first drive where Armstead got in there a couple times, or am I thinking of the wrong player?
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Thank you, not Armstead. Getting ahead of myself. Lawrence got in there a couple times, but that was it. After that, it was just free running for Aaron Jones. And O-line. I mean, I think there was 1 declined offensive penalty on holding on Jenkins, and that was about it.
What's up, Alex? Yeah, well, you know when to catch us, and I'm glad you can catch us live and get some comments in. Bryant, how you feel about the running game?
You kind of covered it in the stars, but man, it's like the last 4 weeks, it's just been next level, and it's literally exactly what we're going to need. I started as I started looking at this game a little bit this week. I'm like, it's almost the same formula to beat San Francisco as we did to beat Dallas.
Yep.
I'll talk about it in my offensive preview, but San Francisco has some of the same struggles against the outside zone running team as Dallas. And what did we do? We started running that ball. There's it was just the fact that he had like 16 carries in the first half. You're like, oh, we're winning this game. You know what I mean? Like for sure, he's cracking the magic 20 number. And then when Dallas was he had like 8 carries after Dallas was trying to fight back into the game. It went like for 8 yards.
This was my favorite drive. I have it written down. I just pulled it up just for you because it went Jones run, the huge play to Romeo Doubs, Jones run, Jones touchdown, and the Packers went from 27-10 to 34-10 in 5 plays. I literally wrote 5 plays, LOL, in my notes.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. Like he just completely stepped on their throat again. I don't know what personal vendetta Aaron Jones has against Dallas, but I'm here for it. So like that dude just shreds him. Like,
Yeah.
it is bad. He's got like the last 4 games, 9 touchdowns against them. The one thing that surprised me a little bit in the running game was we didn't see much of the reverse or end around. I don't think we've seen them at all. It'll be interesting. I don't know that we'll do it against San Francisco. Maybe, LaFleur he realized we're kicking their ass so early that he didn't have to get as far into his bag that he wanted to. And so maybe he has some of those drawn up and they can work against San Francisco. I'll share some of the numbers here in a few minutes. But
Fred Warner's so good, though.
Yeah, he's
all pro.
yeah,
You're not faking that guy out. I'll tell you that right now.
Let me throw this out there as far as the running game is concerned. I think it's wild that in one game against the Cowboys, Aaron Jones has tied the postseason record for rushing touchdowns.
Right?
It just took one game against the Cowboys, and he tied 3. That was the goal. So he needs 1 rushing touchdown, and he will have the postseason rushing record for a single playoff.
If we want to win, I'm going to assume that Jones gets into the end.
you got to be believing. You
Nuclear, which would be really fun.
got to be saying Packers history, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Packers, the franchise for playoff.
Yeah.
Jake, red zone offense.
Red zone offense was top tier, but
Cooking.
a lot of small writing because we ran 7,000 plays in the red zone. I'm just going to tell you right now. And 2nd and 5 at the 19, Love hit Musgrave. 1st and 10 at the 11, Wilson ran the ball for no gain. He had the first handoff in the red zone for the whole game. That's crazy to me. 2nd and 10 at the 11, Love the craft for 5. 3rd and 5, we got Lawrence to jump offside, so a neutral zone infraction, half distance to the goal. So a 3rd and 2 from the 3, and Jones gets his first touchdown of the game. Second possession where we got in the red zone. 1st and 10 at the 19 again. Love to Jones for 13. 1st and goal at the 6. We had a holding. It was the Tucker Kraft holding, which kind of sucked because it negated a pretty good Jones run. 1st and goal at the 16. Love hits Dubs for 15, getting to the 1 yard line. And then 2nd and goal, Jones gets his second touchdown. And I don't know if any of you saw the TikTok of the Bears fan crying, but he said, second touchdown. Ah! He was going crazy. So then we have our third possession that got into the red zone. 2nd and 7 at the 20. We ran with Jones, no gain. And 3rd and 7 at the 20. That was the beautiful pass from Love to Wicks. That was top tier. That was a dime.
Yeah, we broke that one down. You can find that on the page. That play was super fun to talk about.
Hit him right here. There was nobody else touching that football.
The caption starts with Jordan Love is a wizard.
He is. That was an amazing play.
Barry, I would love if one of us could go to the game for California. The current trip being planned is I'm going to the Senior Bowl next week.
That would be fun.
As much as I would love to, it's not quite in the
actual
budget yet for us to be going to playoff games.
That's going to take a couple checks. 1st and 10 at the 17, Jones for 8, and then 2nd and 2 at the 9, Jones for 9, and he gets his 3rd touchdown of the game, and we just start opening up gaps. I mean, my gosh, the gaps that the offensive line is opening up in the run game it's honestly getting disrespectful at this point. They're doing it to everybody. It's ridiculous. This is the final one that gets into the end zone. This is the best part. 2nd and 6 at the 17. Wilson runs for 5. 3rd and 1 at the 12. Wilson runs for 1, gets the first down. 1st and 10 at the 11. Love tries to find Reed, tried to force a pass to Jaden Reed because he didn't have a catch all game, and it was an incomplete pass, but Jaden Reed doesn't care. Obviously, you heard that already. 2nd and 10 at the 11. Wilson goes for 7. 3rd and 3 at the 4. Wilson goes for 1. And then the Packers are just like, hey, you know what? We're up 41-16, so fuck it, right? 4th and 2 at the 3 yard line, and Love somehow falling away, fading away, shoe untied, falling down, eating a cookie, sidearms a pass to Romeo Doubs between 17 Cowboys defenders. And the fucking game is 48-16, dude.
What's Matt LaFleur's motto?
Hey,
all gas.
What's Jordan Love's motto, bro? 1 foot on their neck, 1 foot on the gas. I mean,
I'll say we can talk about it. You're probably going to talk about it coaching, but he took a little. He little let off the gas a little.
Yeah, a little bit. A little.
Okay, wait. I want to go back for 1 second.
Go ahead.
I just want your guys' opinion. Is that dude in the Bears jersey not like the most pathetic thing? Like, I wouldn't do that myself.
he just makes himself more miserable.
Yeah, I don't. If you guys didn't see the start of the video, he was like, "This is my favorite part of the year is watching the Packers lose in the playoffs," and then he loses it. I couldn't do that. I'm not gonna throw on a Packers jersey, watch the Bears play, and hope they lose, and then video myself I just don't get it.
Dude, if the Packers are out, like we're focused on the Packers. That's it. Like I'm not gonna be cheering for the Lions to lose. I'm gonna be focusing on the draft.
Dude, go back to the quote I told you all a couple weeks ago. Winners focus on winning, losers focus on the winners.
It's just so fucking
that is what the
pathetic.
NFC North does. They focus on us because we win. And now there was
confident the bid for us. They know we're big underdogs this game. They're just waiting for hope that we lose.
I wanted to send them a case of Kleenex.
So they can be like, I told you so. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just
and that's the
weird
thing,
behavior.
the joke on them. We're already all completely thrilled and blown away with how far we've gotten this year. Like, even if we pull it off this weekend, great. If we don't, I'll be sour for an hour or two after the game. But when I really realize what we did this year, you know what I mean? So,
Barry said, "How many bandwagon Bears fans out there?" I can't imagine there's many, if any.
Not.
But my thing is when it comes down to looking at a team that's been successful, is that maybe someday you'll be able to cheer for your team being good instead of cheering for our team to be bad, and that's really where the focus should lie. Brad said we're playing with house money, nothing to lose, absolutely, and I think they're playing that way. Yeah, and I think that's somewhere some of the confidence comes from is like not having expectations. And I talked about this last week actually, that I believed that going in with no expectations, as being this top seed, like Dallas was expected to win. Mm-hmm. The Packers were just there to get experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it takes pressure off. So looking at third down offense, the first total, they were 6 for 10, which is 60%, which is great. First half, they were 5 for 6, 83%. There's not many things that didn't go well in the first half for the Packers. So the Packers 5 for 6. Jordan Love was 4 for 5 for 61 yards and a touchdown. Now going into the second half, obviously they were 1 for 4 to complete the 6 for 10. Packers did not have a single third down in the third quarter. So essentially all of their third downs in the second half came in the fourth quarter when the game was well over already. All 4 of them came in the garbage time. The Packers were up 41-16 before facing a third down in the second half. So, I mean, it was the 3 that they didn't convert were Emmanuel Wilson, Patrick Taylor, and Tucker Kraft's drop. Those were the 3 they didn't convert. Scott said, hopefully the defense shows up big. We need it, and Carlson needs to be clutch. Taylor said we leveled up from that experience. Barry said, I don't ever see my time in the life of the Bears or Minnesota winning a Super Bowl. I could see that as well. Darian said, after this win, we've drawn a lot of attention to be a threat in the playoffs. I mean, you don't get to the top 4 in the conference without drawing a lot of attention. Even still, Bill said all the TV experts have the Niners blowing us out, just like the Dallas game. I think our head predictions, we do head and heart predictions. I think our head predictions are going to show that we all think this is probably going to be a pretty close game.
Yeah.
So that said, going into special teams, Bryant, how did special teams look?
I have to start with Daniel Whelan. I mean, 3 punts all inside the 10-yard line. Even if Dallas wanted to start to try to come back, they were constantly behind, starting with pretty bad, field position. So that was great by him. Another game, another missed extra point, unfortunately. So
6 for 7. I mean, all-pro on the other side of the ball missed one.
Either way, like it hasn't cost us yet the last 4 games, but if we we probably can't afford to leave a point on the table if we're going to beat San Francisco.
Right.
And then it kind of did come out. It does sound like Basashis was saying they were, which a little surprised me a little bit against Dallas returner, but it does sound like they're purposely, kicking short. He said the one was a little shorter than when we probably wanted it, but the other ones he's doing exactly what we want him to do. So, and overall, they, covered pretty well. They had the one bad one, and other than that, they had a couple where they got him at the 20 or maybe shy of it, so for sure shy of the 25. So overall, pretty good performance. And you're right, like 6 for 7 is pretty good from extra point. So good on him. They looked all the kicks after that looked a lot more confidence. I think we just need him to go out in pregame and hit a couple posts or something to get those knocked off, and then go start making his kicks, all the kicks in game. But it's going to be interesting. I don't want to jump on the weather report, but kicking could be a little interesting this game. So
Adarian said, if you want to beat the 49ers, build a comfortable lead in the game as early as they can. They don't have a good track record when trailing.
Yep, they can't. They have struggled.
And here's the thing: is that we're in the semifinals. We're in the second round of the playoffs. I don't think there's such thing as a comfortable lead. You could watch the Packers beating the absolute shit out of the Cowboys, and the commentators still like, well, if they do this and this, and they recover 2 onside and they get 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, or 2-point conversions, they can be back in it.
They really wanted it to happen.
Man.
No, it was here. So, okay. So going into the defense, Simon, how do you feel about the secondary?
Yeah, this is if you strictly look at the box score to this game, it does not look good for how well this defense performed, and that the secondary just overall played a tremendous game. And then it was just, basically the fourth quarter, it was prevent defense and let Dak hit all the throws and whatever.
Most of the CD's yardage came from.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of where I was going too. Like the 2 picks, pick 6 by Darnell Savage, where he absolutely baited Dak into throwing to CD on the one of the inside slants. And yeah, he just took it to the house. Jair's interception. I thought they did a good job. I thought Barry put together a good game plan on covering CeeDee Lamb. He didn't really have much going into the fourth quarter. He had a bunch of targets this game, but not a whole lot of production. And then, as Brian said, Nixon had, I thought was a hell of a game. He was being picked on a little bit, but I'll allow 8 catches on 12 targets for 56 yards. That's not terrible.
7 yards a catch is low.
Yeah, that's pretty low. And then his play he put on the speed to go down and chase down Dak for that. I don't know why he didn't throw it away. I really don't. I think he just tried to pump fake Nixon and he didn't fall for it.
Yeah.
And he took him down, great sack, and he got him out of field goal range. So yeah, secondary, just great performance.
Did any of you have on your Packers Cowboys bingo card that that Keyshawn Nixon records the first sack of the game? No. We should. If I get time, I will try to. I'll try to make a bingo card for tomorrow's game. That sounds like fun. Barry said the look of disappointment on Mike's face. That was fun. We weren't able to get him fired a second time, but there's always next year.
Yeah. We were this close.
Jake, how did the rush defense do?
You look at the totals and you would think that the Packers had a bad game because they had 25 carries for 123 yards and 1 touchdown, but I really felt little impact from the run game, to be completely honest with you. It's easier to say that when we were up 27-0 and 48-16 at 2 different points in this game, so they didn't really have a chance to get the run game going, but I was a little bit worried about Pollard's ability being an X factor catching the ball in this game, and they kind of kept him quiet. He had 15 for 56 and he had a touchdown, but 3.7 yards a carry, you can live with that, right?
How big was that one Dak Prescott carry?
18.
He had 6 carries for 45 yards.
Okay.
His longest was the first carry.
Gotcha.
How long? Yeah. He had 45 on the 123. So really, if you take Prescott, he had that long carry. You take Prescott out of there, we had a pretty damn decent game, in my opinion. So just keep hitting people, wrapping up, multiple people running to the ball. That's going to be a really big key against the 49ers.
Yep. Much different animal. You got any more? Or?
No, that's it.
Okay. Simon, talk about the tackling and the defensive line.
Yeah, Jake basically just hit it. There's 4 missed tackles, and that's a amazing game.
Love that.
Yeah, huge
big
effort.
fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna talk about that later, but yeah, Jake hit the nail on the head. This next weekend is gonna be huge for tackling as well. They have a lot of players that can be dangerous down the field in open space.
Scott, we're gonna get there. We're really close.
know.
We do a section in the San Francisco.
Recap then the preview.
We're almost there. Hold on, bud.
D-line, you got something for that too?
Oh yeah, like Jake said, they were solid in the run game, and I mean Pollard being their primary ball carrier, 3.7 yards per carry, and then I think really the only slip up was maybe that they went up a little too far upfield on that Dak carry for 18. I think they struggled a little bit in pass rushing, didn't get a whole lot going. Wyatt had, I thought, a pretty good game. He ended up with 3 pressures, and then Kenny and Brooks each had a pressure that was recorded as a hit. So didn't quite get to him, but we take those.
Can I throw something out there that the Cowboys, they have 3 All-Pros on their O-line?
Yeah, that was kind of my part. Is like their offensive line is good, so it's only right that our players are going to have to struggle a little bit.
So my only big thing that was like that I was I shouldn't even say mad at, but and it could have easily been unintentional, was Kenny Clark's face mask.
Yeah,
because that was a big stop at that point of that game too. So, Bill said, "Dude, come on, sure that all sounds good, but how do they do that? What are the necessary things to do to make that happen, and in what order?" We're gonna get there. Bill said the only thing better than the look on Mike's face was seeing Jerry Jones crying during his interview after the game. His lower lip was quivering more than Grandma's Jell-O salad at Thanksgiving.
I think his lip was quivering because he's 700 years old, dude.
I said it to the guys in our group chat. I'm like, I think Jerry Jones wants to fire Mike McCarthy at halftime.
Yeah,
that touchdown at halftime might have saved Mike McCarthy's job. Because to be fair to the Cowboys, that was a good play call on the goal line. It was a good play call. Like
if I could just take a little detour for 1 sec, I think Jerry Jones should fire himself, because part of the pressure of being a Cowboys, player or coach is coming from Jerry Jones, who talks all the time about, expecting greatness and stuff like that. I think maybe it's a time for a new ownership with the Cowboys. Not that I want the Cowboys to be good. Trust me, I don't. But I think maybe that's something that could help them out. Just saying. Because they have too much talent to be losing in the playoffs.
All righty, Jake. How about the pass rush?
Step back.
The pass rush. I thought the pass rush was pretty good. You look at all the good defenses in the NFL, and really the pass defenses and good defenses overall, they usually stop the run and they get pressure on quarterbacks by only sending 4. And that's basically what the Packers were doing most of the game. Barry said Jerry called Bill, and Bill told him, "Sorry, you lost that game. I ain't coaching for you." I mean, that could be a conversation. Also, Atlanta's probably throwing a lot of money at him. Just saying that. Not that Jerry has a lot of money too. I mean, he did the virtual draft from his yacht. I mean, what a flex. But back to the pass rush, we had 4 sacks. Van Ness and Campbell got theirs, in garbage time. But hey, they're sacks, right? Nixon with the first one, as we talked about, and Campbell picked up 1. Hits on the quarterback. This feels terrible to say, but happy belated birthday to this guy as well. We won't be having Enagbari anymore, which is really sad. But he led the team with 2 quarterback hits. Brooks, Gary, and Clark each added 1. And as far as hurries, Wyatt led the way with 3. He's going to have a lot of backing up to do after all that talking he was doing. Just going to say that right now. Van Ness, Walker, and Enagbari again. Owens, Gary, and Smith all added 1 each. So, I mean, overall, I thought they were pretty solid for not sending a lot of exotic blitzes.
Brian, how did the Packers do in the red zone defensively?
You can't look at the number. This is kind of like how, Jake was talking about the running game. If you look at the numbers, Dallas are 4 for 5. Okay, sure. They were 4 for 5 in the red zone. Well, anytime they try, they didn't get in the red zone and score until, that last drive in the first half. And what happened to get them there? A phantom 15-yard penalty, and then a false start that they should have probably ran out the half, and it would have been game over, or half over, right? So sure, they got there, but when they showed any sign of life, we shut them down, right? So they had the one chance they had to make it, somewhat close, 14-27. We shut them down in the red zone, forced the field goal. They kicked the field goal, make it 10-27. The next drive, by the time they get it back, they're down 34-10. They go down and score. They try to go for 2. They have that penalty, makes the extra point, and then next thing we know is 34. Or by the time they get into the red zone again, by the time they put up points again, it's 48-16. And with 6 minutes left in the game, it was 48-16. And yeah, we took some defenders out, like Rochelle and Zay Anderson and stuff. We're getting some snaps. So
Eric Wilson.
It's really not it's not really a fair game to grade the red zone on. But when it mattered, kind of like the game prior, they showed up and they shut them down like that, forcing that field goal to make it 10-27 instead of 14-27. Then we immediately, I think the next one is that Aaron Jones drive that you were talking about earlier. It's just like they've got to be just dejected on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Because at that point, that was a 10. It was a 7-0 run. It could have been a 14-0 run. Stopped it to a 10-0 run. So.
If I'm not mistaken, that drive after they got that field goal, I think it was 1 minute and 31 seconds. It took the Packers to go those 5 plays for that touchdown.
Yeah. So they Cowboys are 4 for 5 in the red zone, but it doesn't tell the whole story of this game.
Yeah. Barry, if the MVP was starting in week 9, Jordan Love would definitely be the MVP. But you got to factor in the whole season. So maybe, if they do a most improved award like we probably are going to do, Jordan Love could absolutely be part of that. But Bill said, I agree 100%. Jerry's been a great owner, love him or hate him, but he does need someone else in charge of day-to-day operations. Absolutely. I agree with that as well. Jake, how did the third down defense do?
I agree with Brian to what he just said about red zone. I don't think it tells the whole story of this game, right? Yeah. The third downs, they were 10 of 16. They were 0-2 on fourth down. 3rd and 3 and shorter, they actually went 7 of 9. One of them that we actually stopped them on was the sack from Kenny Clark where they called the face mask, so they ended up getting a first down on that anyways. The third and 4 through 6, they went 1 for 4. One of them that we stopped them on was the Nixon sack, and the other one was the Jair interception. 2 massive plays. 3rd and 7 through 9, they went 0 for 1. And then 3rd and 10 and longer, they went 1 of 2, and the one that they picked up, the game was already 27-0. So just had to add that in there. On 4th down, 0 for 2, Dak passed on both of them and incomplete, obviously. So I think the Packers stood up when they had to, and I feel like a lot of this stuff was just nuance.
Barry said the Lions will lose this week. We'll see. If they do, cool. If they don't,
I'm not going to lie to you. I want the Lions. I want that. I want to go to Detroit.
It reminds me of the Super Bowl season where we had to play the Bears to get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I want the Lions so bad, dude, because I want them to just be riding cloud 9 with us, and then we just kick their ass off, man.
I don't think they lose. I think the Eagles they're too clean of a team for Tampa Bay to keep up with. I think Tampa Bay is playing well, but Philly was an absolute mess going into that game. You know what I mean? So
I'm just going to tell you one thing. Not that we're going to talk too much about the Lions and Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield on the road, 18 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Versus at home, he has 10 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. That son of a bitch likes ruining everybody's day.
Love it.
So you're playing spoiler every week. Right. Taylor wants the Lions to sit the little brother back down. I'm with it.
Exactly.
Let me just throw this out there on Jair. His interception, not pass interference. That's good defense. He has equal right to the ball, so I don't want to hear shit about pass interference.
I agree.
Let's not bring up that dumb comment.
Shouldn't have to be said, but Bill said he loves Baker. I mean, as long as he's not playing against us, I like him.
He's got the sack to go into Detroit and tell him to double barrel. You know what I'm saying? He is that kind of guy. That's why I love Baker too.
Juice. I'm with it. All right, so coaching and time of possession. I'm going to start with time of possession because I have way more to say about coaching. So time of possession was surprisingly almost even, despite Green Bay having a defensive touchdown and Dallas running a ton of garbage time offense. Like when the Packers were running garbage time offense, they were just running the ball to 3 and out and punt.
Right.
Dallas was trying to score.
Yeah.
The Packers were just trying to salt the game away. Barry said he has a feeling it's going to be us in Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I'd love that. I don't think it's what it's going to be, but I'd love it.
They're losing.
So on the coaching now, Matt LaFleur, Bryant mentioned this already, that Matt LaFleur put it on himself for pulling the starters early. We talked about this in our post-game live that we did on Sunday after the game. that we really think it's just like one series. So just a little bit too early. They kind of started pulling starters at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Maybe should have waited until like the 10, 11-minute mark. Credit to Matt LaFleur sticking with the run game, even though it wasn't going well on the first set of downs. The Cowboys had a couple stops that held the Packers to a 1-2 yard gain on the first set of downs. Stuck with it. And then Matt LaFleur, great call winning the toss and taking the ball. That first touchdown drive set the tone for the entire game. Packers went 8 minutes to score a touchdown. And it felt like the game was like a quarter of the way over already.
Yeah, exactly.
The Packers were winning 7-0.
Absolute punch in the mouth.
The Packers are now 5-2 when they take the ball and they score first.
Cool. Do that again.
Yeah, I agree.
Barry said I had to apologize to Barry. I don't know. If the Packers win this week and it's because of the defense, or at least in part because of the defense, I'll consider a Joe Barry apology for him.
Bro, it's going to get so toxic on Twitter.
Dude, I would love to be that petty person. I'm not going to lie to you.
Bro, there's this one chick, I forgot her name, but she quote tweets her own tweet every day and says, I'm going to quote tweet this every day till it happens. It says, fire Joe Barry.
God.
I am going to be on her ass, dude. If we win because of the defense, I'll be like, quote tweet it again. It's working, clearly.
Just change all those F's to H's.
Right.
So on Joe Barry, I don't have any major complaints. The Packers put their second stringers in basically for the whole fourth quarter. As for people still whining that once or twice a game that a linebacker ends on a wide receiver, do you want to stop the run? Or do you just want to have 6 defensive backs in on every play so that you can have perfect matchups all over the field, especially when you're playing zone defense?
Those are pretty much the options you have, honestly.
So you want to stop the run? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can't always have 5 or 6 defensive backs on the field. Dallas ran 89 fucking plays.
They did.
It's going to happen a few times.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, and even rewatching the game, you can see it. I'm not going to lie to you. Devondre Campbell actually played pretty good coverage against Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
So that's really all I have on Barry. It's people are really, really, really trying to find anything they can cling to keep trying to drag Joe Barry. And I'm going to stick by what I said. He still hasn't saved his job yet. But if the Packers win this week, and it's not like 49-48, if the Packers win this week and the defense plays well, we need to have some conversations. So I'm going to hold that off until next week because that's when it's going to matter. But this week, absolutely no complaints about Joe Barry. He dialed up some great pressures. He called some great play calls. Scott said we got to stop Kittle. We'll definitely talk about that. Bill said, is the resurgence of our defense because of Barry or because LaFleur has been keeping a close eye on it for the last few weeks? I'm going to go back to what I said on Sunday night, that I think it's LaFleur giving Barry some influence, not actually LaFleur, like changing play calls or schemes or anything like that. I think it's LaFleur kind of giving Barry like a, hey, in this situation, try this or things like that, more so than LaFleur like becoming basically the DC.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Sorry, I'm going to stick to what I said, that I think that he's helping with the communication stuff because obviously, the offense, he was working with them for a long time and getting them on the same page. So maybe he used some of those same practices that he had with the offense to help with the defense. And now things are kind of clicking. People understand the checks. People understand the things that's going on.
Barry said everyone just doesn't like guys named Barry. Little self-burn
I like Barry.
there. But no, Bill, that's a great question.
Rare.
That's definitely a good question to bring up. But the other thing that I'll say on it is listening to Matt LaFleur talk in his press conferences, even if he is the one that's overhauling all this, he's not taking the credit for it.
Yep.
Because he said in his press conference, I believe it was yesterday or Wednesday, that when asked about the defense turning it around, he said if anybody could right the ship, he believes it would be Joe Barry. So he's giving the credit to Barry, whether he's the one doing it or not. The credit is going to Joe Barry from Matt LaFleur. So the best we can do is take him at his word, and he's coaching well, so we really have no reason to not believe him when he says stuff like that. Let me throw this out there. because we've kind of talked about this in some of the position groups, but Dallas has 9 all-pro players. Their punter, their kicker, their quarterback, their wide receiver, 3 offensive linemen, a corner, and an edge rusher. 9 all-pro players. Green Bay outperformed Dallas at all 9 of those positions. That's how I feel. And then the last thing that I want to bring up in the coaching, and I have to apologize because I am the one that talks about coaching. I haven't given Adam Stenavich enough credit this season. And really where it comes up is I have not given Adam Stenavich enough credit for helping Jordan Love understand how to change protections with the offensive line. Because we've seen Jordan Love do a really great job of that over the last probably 8 to 10 weeks of him changing protections before the snap. And as the offensive coordinator, I have not given Adam Stenavich enough credit for his work helping the offense with that and helping Jordan Love with that. So I'm here to do that this week.
With it.
Bill said teeter-totter time with him now. I agree that if we win or lose won't define his employment. How the defense performs will do that more than anything. That's a very fair point. Winning does heal lots of things, but in this case, Matt LaFleur has to know if there's anyone better that could come in and make an immediate impact if he's going to go in a new direction. If that's not the case, making a change for the sake of change is not the way to win or run any professional organization. That last sentence is perfect.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If the Packers lose and they give up 17 points and the Packers decide to bring back Joe Barry, I'm not going to be mad.
Neither am I.
And the thing is that people will be mad and fans will be mad. Be like, how can you still do that? We're not here to listen to the fans. If the fans ran the organization, it would not be good.
No. It would be the opposite, which is not good.
What about that one guy? I sent you a message like 3 weeks ago. That one guy's like, if I was in charge, I would have us in the Super Bowl conversation every week. I was like,
some people really overestimate their knowledge. But
they do.
This comment by Bill is great. It's absolutely accurate all the way through. Simon, how you feeling about Jordan Love?
It's same as I felt the last 8 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's first playoff game against the number 2 seed as a 7 seed, first 7 to win against win a playoff game. And I mean, this isn't, I feel like this team's not what other 7 seeds are, where like they're kind of like a pushover team, like 7 seeds like limp in a little bit. No, the Packers got on a really good tear like on the back half of the season. And well, I saw something the other day. It was like the last 4 NFC teams' final 10-game records were all 7-3.
Oh, what?
So I mean, the Packers are right up there winning games with the rest of the NFC, and they prove they belong in the playoffs by absolutely going in Dallas's house and whooping them. And Jordan Love was a huge. I mean, if Jordan Love continues this trajectory of play, we might have to like just permanently not put him in the 3 stars because it's going to be a given at that point.
He's going to be like Giannis.
It's just like force us to think outside the box some more. But
it'll be Jordan Love in the 3 stars.
Yeah, Jordan Love, basically. But I mean, this is part of it too, but hats off to Matt LaFleur for dialing up a great game plan, and Love went out there and executed it to near perfection.
Yeah.
And he's been able to make some
drop the ball. He was perfect until then.
Yeah. But the last thing I'll say is like in terms of like rhythm throws and off rhythm throws, I think Jordan Love's proved he can do it all.
Well, I said it last week, or I said it on Sunday night. I do not want to hear Justin Fields' name in the same conversation again. Because you cannot show me a single Justin Fields throw that Jordan Love can't make, but I can show you a dozen throws that Jordan Love has made that Justin Fields can't.
And you could honestly, I mean, you can put him up there, and it's like he's making a throw that any QB in the league can make. Like he's almost. I mean, it's too soon to like say top 3 or top 5 or whatever.
Right.
But like obviously he has to have a little bit of longevity. But like in terms of talent level and decision making, he's up there with the best of them right now. Okay, Brian, get your stuff together.
Bill asks, is anybody concerned with Jordan Love seemingly throwing off platform a lot of the time? Not really, because he's been accurate with it.
I mean, I wouldn't say concerned. I will say there are times where he does it where it's seemingly unnecessary for him to do it.
Yeah,
That's his
it
rhythm,
can
man.
eventually be
So I'm
like,
not-
it can eventually be like, okay, let's reset a little bit and just, if you don't need to do it, don't do it. But he's given me no reason to be concerned now. So
Yeah. As long as he's accurate.
yeah.
Barry said, I like how we throw to whoever is available and not just the one wide receiver that the other teams do. That's why, like I said, I've said it a bunch of times during this season, like the passing game distribution might be my favorite thing about this season.
Yeah.
Bryant, how are you feeling about Jordan Love?
Yeah, Simon kind of hit the nail on the head. Just first playoff game, and he's just like any other game, right? He just goes in there and just
dominate,
smashed them. Like he's reading the defenses so well. I heard someone this week earlier say, "Well, I want to pump the brakes on Jordan Love because look at how schemed open the wide receivers and stuff were." What do you like? Are you kidding me? For one, was he not supposed to throw to him because they were schemed open so well? 2, how many adjustments is he making? How many adjustments is he making at the line to get them into those situations? A lot. He does it every play you see him. He's up there reading the defense and he knows where he's going to go. Let's see. The Romeo Dobbs touchdown, was that schemed wide open? No, that was a ridiculous throw. Dontavian Wicks, yeah, was he open over the top? Yes, but that is a drop in the bucket throw that you have to make.
He double clutched that one.
Yeah, he's made some absolutely incredible throws. That throw to Dobbs was probably my favorite one. The one that after Tucker Crafts, gets a holding and pulls his way back. And then he just, Dobbs was covered. Like there couldn't have been a yard of separation there. He drills him right in between the numbers. He's just
throw to Tucker Kraft was really impressive to me because he's drifting backwards and throwing like this, and he still throws just an absolute.
Same with the Musgrave one. Everyone's like, "Oh, well, he was wide open." Yeah, well, he had pressure right in his face, dropping backwards, and he still made the throw and got it there. So it's just, I don't know what else to say.
They say that like throws like that. They say hit your layups.
Yeah.
All you got to do is it doesn't matter if you lollipop it up there because there's the 16.6 yards of separation on that play.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to throw a laser that leads him to the end zone. He just had to pop it up so that Luke Musgrave, all he had to do was
So
and he still ran for the touchdown.
And stayed on his feet.
Yeah, most importantly.
So yeah, just another great game by him, and we'll continue to need it. Hopefully, we'll talk about it here when Jake talks about weather. But
Bill said, Jordan Love, when I first watched him play, I was sort of sat back in my seat. I see the enthusiasm that Brett had shown throughout his career, especially early on. Brett was like a high school kid playing in a game way over his head, but he didn't care or know any better. And, we've tried to avoid making a ton of comparisons to the previous 2 quarterbacks. But there's things that you can see that he's definitely got a mix of both, which I love. I absolutely love that about Jordan Love. That he's got a little bit of the gunslinger, but he's also got the precision of Rodgers as well, and the throwing motions. Like you can't deny that there's similarities.
100%.
He's just so level-headed, and mellow, mannered
in a different way than Rodgers is.
Yeah.
Bill said, but then watching him make some of the passes, the placement of balls, some of them haven't been perfect, but Aaron wasn't on early either. 12 is insanely accurate. Love won't be Aaron all the time, but rolling to his left and hitting that throw to me sealed the deal. He's got a mix of both of them. Hey, that's what I said too. And he's got his own moxie. He's going to be good. How good is up to him. He's got all the right stuff, and he's got the right traits. He's got good character traits as well, which just really makes you love him more.
Yep.
And we've known it for the last 2.5 years that he's got the locker room behind him. We've only ever heard good things about him. And Aaron Jones has talked about him. going into last season already that he's a more vocal leader in the huddle, and now it's showing on the field.
You even hear like other opponents talking about him. Nick Bosa saying, well, they have someone that's playing in the system. And I don't know if that was him trying to take a shot at him, saying that Jordan Love is going to – I didn't take it as that.
No.
He was taking it as like that offense is humming because he's not trying to do his own crap. He's playing what there's – Matt LaFleur, who comes from the Shanahan tree, who runs a very good offense, wants to happen. So, I want to say, everyone was kind of harping on Matt LaFleur last year. So from the offense, I'm not trying to dog on Aaron Rodgers, but it was probably Aaron Rodgers holding him back because he didn't want to do a lot of this stuff. So he wouldn't throw to the middle of the field. Now you have a quarterback that's doing that, and you can see it took him a half a year to really get settled in. We were kind of like, man, can we even get a first down in the first half? A couple of these games, all of a sudden it's just exploded. So, yeah.
Jordan Love has adapted to the system, and now he's thriving in it. Jake, how you feeling about Jordan Love?
So, Brian, you and Nick Bosa are one of the same, huh? You guys don't want to say anything bad about Rodgers, but you're still going to say something bad about Rodgers. I get it. Because that was, from Bosa, 1,000% a stab at Aaron Rodgers. When you say something like that, you're trying to be polite, but you're trying to say, yeah, they're better without you, dude. It's literally what I heard. But, man, Jordan Love, first of all, I'm going to go back to other Bills comment here, but you don't mess with the fadeaway jumper aspect of his game, man. It's like in basketball, right? A guy has a janky looking jump shot, but it goes in. You just let him shoot it janky, okay? Because obviously it works. I hate when the NBA like coaches try to mess with people's jump shots. Look at what it's done to Johnny Davis. Talking about Wisconsin Badgers, kind of ruined his jumper, to be honest with you. He had a smooth-looking jumper in college. Now he goes to the NBA. They try to fix it, make him look all professional. Keep your elbow here. Nah. F that, man. Just let Jordan Love go out there and ball. That's his rhythm thing. Let him ball. Let him do his thing. That's what
people left Campaign's jumper alone, and he's still in the NBA. So
seriously, and every once in a while, he's a pretty good shooter. I won't lie, but he's still trash on defense. Don't care. Jordan Love had a 99.3 QBR in that game. That's the highest in playoff history.
That's ridiculous.
That's literally almost perfect. Maybe if Tucker Kraft catches that, he gets 2 perfect scores. But God damn it, Tucker Kraft. I'm just kidding. He also became the seventh quarterback ever to attempt at least 20 passes and have a passer rating over 150 in a playoff game. Stroud just did it the day before, so Stroud and Love are on that list. Yeah, beast. It's going to be Stroud and Love for a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Dude, Stroud looks so good. Not to deviate from the conversation, but
Texans Super Bowl. That'd be fucking awesome.
Stroud
looks so good.
We play the Texans next year. That'll be a Sunday night game.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
So Stroud, Love, Peyton Manning in 2003, Josh Allen in 2001, Kurt Warner in 2009, Rodgers' first playoff game, Phil Simms in 1986, and Lynn Dickey in 1982.
Baby.
That's for the OG. He was the first one to ever do it. So that's for the OG Packer fans right there. But
nice.
What else can you say about Jordan Love? He plays off platform. He plays within the pocket. He plays out of the pocket. He does a really good job extending plays and just making throws. He's a gamer, dude. Point blank, period.
Yeah, so I want to throw this out there. I mentioned it already in the passing game distribution, but Jordan Love, 20-plus yards, 4 for 5, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Perfect passer rating. But Jordan Love can't throw a deep ball. Maybe.
I love that that's gone away.
It just took a little bit of time for Jordan Love and his first and second year wide receivers to get on the same page.
Weird.
Yeah, who'd have
thought? Throwing the deep ball is like Happy Gilmore learning how to punt, huh?
Who would have thought? Not me.
Yeah, not me. Bill said Aaron always looked at Devontae first and forced to him on occasions where he shouldn't have. You always knew where Aaron was going first. You never know where Jordan's going or who he's going to.
That's not true. That's not true. That's recency bias. I'm sorry. It is. We have so many years with Rodgers without good Devontae.
Yeah.
Where Rodgers was spreading the ball around. He was throwing the ball to the running backs. He was throwing the ball to Jermichael Finley early. He was throwing the ball to Cobb.
It was that last playoff game against the 49ers.
I understand it hurts, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not dogging Aaron Rodgers, dude. He's still the best player in our team's history. We're not doing that.
Taylor said way down the line, but imagine Stroud versus Love in the Super Bowl. I mean, that could be way down the line, like 3
Shit.
weeks from now. I'm just gonna
Yeah, I
throw
was
it
gonna
out there.
say, bro, 3 weeks from now, we
It
don't
could
know.
be. It's not what I think is going to happen, but it
I don't
could.
think either, but
It could.
it's possible.
It's still a possibility.
Yeah.
It's definitely possible. So what else can we say about Jordan Love that hasn't been said? Except now he's done it in a playoff game against a number 2 seeded, very good defense with an all-pro first-team cornerback and a second-team all-pro edge rusher. I don't want to hear this anymore. Oh, it was the Bears. Oh, it was the Vikings. Oh, it was the Giants. Oh, it was this team.
No, because you know what they did? They were like, "Ooh, it's the Cowboys in the playoffs."
Yep.
I saw that so many
I
times.
don't give a shit. And I will say this. Jordan Love was 28 yards from me having to run around outside shirtless in below 0-degree weather. So a little thankful that Simon Says prediction didn't happen, but it was 28 yards away.
So close.
The perfect passer rating, losing it was kind of a bummer. It is what it is, but it's still it's tied for the highest with CJ Stroud rating for a player's playoff debut.
Yep.
Taylor said should have done it anyways. Hard pass. I'm a man of my word. It didn't happen, so I didn't do it.
Bro, it was -30 on Monday. Bro.
It was bad. If one or both of mine happen this week, I'll consider it. But the last thing that I want to say on Jordan Love is that the last 3 weeks have shown that it doesn't matter how often you blitz Jordan Love. He's going to perform. The Vikings blitzed him, 76% of the time, I believe.
Something
the Bears blitzed him 14% of the time. And the Cowboys blitzed him in the middle, 38%. And Jordan Love against the blitz was 6 for 8 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Check.
Doesn't matter how much you blitz him. He's still going to perform.
I like it.
So, love that. So now, for those wondering, let's talk 49ers. So, Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers offense against the 49ers defense?
So, once again, we said it quite a bit. They're playing one of the better offenses in the league, and they've done that quite a bit, defenses in the league the last few games. And they'll get after the quarterback and have allowed less than 18 points per game. But like I said earlier, the Packers are essentially going to have to do it to San Francisco. San Francisco is what they did to Dallas. They need to stay in the game in the first half because San Francisco is the top scoring team in the first and third. And how can they do that? They can do that by controlling the ball, by running the ball, and scoring. Exactly what they did against Dallas, right? So for San Francisco, San Francisco struggles against the outside zone scheme. The Packers run zone, offensively run the zone game 68%. I know 1 more percent, right?
Oh, so close.
68% of the time or whatever. But San Francisco against the outside zone scheme allows 5.1 yards per carry, which is 31st worst in the league. They allow a explosive run percentage of 11.9%, which is 31st in the league. And they allow 3.6 yards per carry after contact, which is worse in the league on outside runs. If we can get that outside run going against them again and keep Love in third and short and, let them just have easy, not easy. Nothing's easy against this defense, but a more high percentage third down, conversions. I think that's how we win, right? We have to stay in this game, and one of the best ways to stay in this game is keep their defense on the field because their offense is just as good as their defense, really, if we're being honest, and can go crazy. Yeah. So for me, it was very similar to Dallas, similar game plan, that's San Francisco's going to be ready for it, right? But we just have to be just as ready, if not more ready, and ready to, have the offensive line pulling on blocks. Maybe this is where we bust out some of those end arounds and stuff like that.
I just want to throw this out there. It was funny that Shanahan was talking about that they were scouting both teams at halftime, and then when the Packers scored their first, they held the Cowboys to a field goal and then scored their first touchdown. That's when they started studying the Packers fully. So they were committed to the Packers winning the game. Bill said, you guys are right. Comparison to other guys is silly. They're different humans and different players, which is absolutely correct. Jordan Love seems to be an excellent young man, and Jones believes in him 1,000%, which is credit to his character and his drive. Absolutely. He's going to get better, and so are his wide receivers. And OMG, can you imagine that scenario? We've been doing it all year, and we're super excited about it. Where these guys are going to be the fastest team not on turf. Yes, I've had a hankering for this group to rise up to the level of those Ram teams. I think they have that kind of ceiling. It's exciting to think about. It absolutely is. Simon, what are you looking for from the Packers offense against the 49ers defense?
They have a really good, deep defensive front seven, headlined by Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. I mean, those two all-pro players. The offensive line is definitely going to have their hands full again, and I feel like there's going to be some sort of game plan, kind of like they did versus the Cowboys, where Aaron Jones is going to have to step up and be good in pass pro again and get tight ends in to help chip some of these edge rushers. And then Jordan Love just has to keep an eye on Fred Warner. He's an all-around. I mean, he's an all-pro for a reason. He's all over the field, and that dude he does not miss tackles. I don't think I've ever seen him miss a tackle. And
Fred Warner is fantastic.
He's, in my opinion, the best linebacker in the league. That's
No,
my opinion, but
totally fair.
even though it might be a little rainy out, I think the best chance the Packers have of winning this game is through Jordan Love's hands. I think they're a little susceptible in the secondary, especially in the slot corner position. I think the middle of the field is open a little bit after Hufanga tore his ACL.
Yeah,
their backup, he's a rookie. He's been playing okay, but obviously not as it's hard to replace an all-pro like that. So I'm looking for kind of big games from the tight ends, and then maybe get Dobbs and Reed involved a little bit more.
for sure. Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense?
Well, I'm going to need Jordan Love to continue to not turn the ball over. He's been really, really great since week 10, 21 touchdowns now to 1 interception. We keep talking about it. I keep knocking on wood. That's something that's going to have to stay the same. We're going to have to run the ball. Bryant, I'm very proud of you. I was looking up the same stuff about the running game, and I found the same stat that they're 31st against zone run, and the Packers run zone run 68% of the time. So that is a massive part of our game plan, and it's a massive knock against their defense. I would like us to run at Oren Burks. Obviously, we all remember Oren Burks. I do not want us to run at Dre Greenlaw because that guy is about that life. I'll just say that right now. He could be the number one linebacker on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
He is that good. But really just going to have to continue to spread the ball around, make them guard everybody. I don't think that they have the greatest back end, especially since Hufanga has gotten hurt. They have a couple of guys who are a little bit older back there. Ward is kind of really the only corner that's notable, in my opinion. But just keep running the same offense, keep playing with that same confidence, and let's see what happens, man.
Josh said hopefully they get the ball and score 7 right away off the rip and never look back. That's the formula.
That is the formula.
I would love that.
If the
Bill
Packers
asked
want the ball first,
yeah,
I
so you
think
think we go 3 tight ends and put one in the backfield to lead fullback style, at least to start? I think either Wilson or Taylor have to have 45 to 60 to help the run game and allow 33 rest and not drop off. I want to break this into 2 parts. First on the tight ends, and then second on splitting the carries. Firstly, on tight ends, I do like it, and it doesn't need to be often, but just once in a while when they have Josiah DeGuara as that leading blocker by using him in pre-snap motion and having him with a head start. I do like those plays, and Josiah DeGuara does seem to thrive on that at times. And to Josiah DeGuara's credit, he made one really, really good chip block on Micah Parsons in the Cowboys game. So it doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little bit. And also, Tucker Kraft has been a fantastic blocker, so I don't know that you necessarily need to have a third tight end on the field. You can stick with the 2 and be good. That's one of the things that really excites us about having those 2 tight ends is that you don't need to put necessarily a third one or keep an extra running back or a fullback on the field to still do what you want to do in the running game. That Kraft and Musgrave can handle that themselves. So that's exciting to think about it there. And listening to Matt LaFleur talking about the running backs, Aaron Jones specifically, I don't think they need to let him rest. I think they're going to ride Aaron Jones because Matt LaFleur has said it, and it seems like Aaron Jones echoes it, that he is the healthiest that he has been in a long time.
Yeah.
So as long as he's healthy, ride him.
Yep.
You know, he's pretty smart about, you know, I saw him a couple times during the Dallas game, you know, calling for subs, and, you know, they get Emmanuel Wilson in there here and there. And obviously we'll keep a close eye on A.J. Dillon, but if Aaron Jones is healthy and ready to go in there, send him. Full send, Aaron Jones.
I think A.J. Dillon plays this week. He posted a picture earlier in the week of, I don't know if you guys are Dragon Ball Z fans, but he posted like a picture of Vegeta like resting inside a tube and then the tube's coming out or whatever. I think he's playing this week.
That was Goku, by the way, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Goku. Was it Goku?
Josh said hopefully no dumb flags too. We know Walker is good for one here and there. I don't really feel the need to single out Rasheed Walker. I just think they've
we're not doing that.
He's cleaned up his game a lot. Like in the second half of the season.
Yep.
I can't really think of any glaring penalty issues with him lately.
I'm just going to tell you this since I wrote it down.
I can go back and look, though.
The 49ers are a very penalized team.
Are they?
On defense especially, man. They are a very heavily penalized team. They have 118 penalties called on them on defense.
We send Wicks on a couple of deep routes in the first couple of plays, see if he can draw some pass interference like they did early in the season.
In comparison, the Packers have 97 on their defense. So watch for that. And the officiating crew, they called the third most flags during the regular season on average. So
let's go.
Just saying.
My last two things on the offense
this year, Josh, but with not picking up. He had one dumb one. I can't remember what it was exactly, and then it's like, come on, Quay. Other than that, it's been good.
I think he was just.
He said Quay.
No.
He was talking about Quay Walker.
Oh, Quay Walker. Okay, I was gonna say Rasheed Walker since week 10 has only been penalized twice.
I knew he was talking about Quay, but Quay had the one
my bad.
flag.
Hold on.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with Quay either.
Quay had the one flag where they called the horse collar, and his hand was completely over the shoulder. Like,
yeah, that was a dumb penalty on the refs, not on Quay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Scott said the Vikings beat them, I think, weekend 2. Oh, I'm going to touch on that. Last thing I want to say on the offense, Jake mentioned the interceptions. San Francisco led the NFL in interceptions, but Dallas was great at them too. So I trust Jordan Love to make the right decision and Matt LaFleur's scheme to get guys open. So, and going into it last week, that's part of what having all of these guys available in the passing game can do, that you don't have to panic to try to find a guy. Just trust your progressions and find the open guy, and if not, take your checkdowns. And Jordan Love has done that, so I'm confident that he'll make those right decisions. And the last thing I want to say is Peter Schrager made a very, very good point on the Packers 49ers recent playoff history, that the Packers have tons of roster turnover since the last time they've played, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at it as like, oh, the Packers are going to remember what happened to them the last time they played. It's like, they're probably really not. There's not many guys left, especially on the offense, from the Packers team when the last time they played the 49ers in the playoffs. So there's the exercising demons, which, it is what it is, but Matt LaFleur is still the head coach. But most of the guys on the team weren't on the team when that 10-7 loss happened.
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried about that. Switching over to defense, Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers defense against the 49ers offense?
Yeah, so obviously McCaffrey is key, right? And they had like a 3-game losing streak. In that game, those 3 games, the highest that McCaffrey went for was like 54 yards in those 3 games. They absolutely have to key on McCaffrey. This team goes through the run. Brock Purdy's very good. Don't get me wrong, throwing for like 257 yards a game or whatever. But when McCaffrey's struggling to get going, Purdy can start get going. We don't have to completely stop him, but we need to slow him down. Only way I see really us beating them is getting quick pressure and consistent pressure on Purdy. And that is very possible through the right side of this offensive line. They're very porous on their right off. Like, I've been calling for a Rashawn Gary game for weeks. I feel like, he gets the pressures and stuff, but he hasn't really made an impact since he's had a half sack since the Chiefs game, right? Like 7 games ago. Well, last time he was in San Francisco, he had 2 sacks in the first half. So maybe he can, reignite that a little bit. But that right side of offensive line has given up 18 of the team's 34 sacks, and that right tackle has given up 9 sacks on the year. We need him to be torn apart. So I think they need to attack that right side of the offensive line and produce. But they need to get home quickly. So I'm thinking maybe on some mid to third and long plays, maybe they if they're going to bring a blitz or something, overload that right side and get someone through, because it seems like they're having both of their PFF grades, the guard and the tackle on that side, are like the 50s. They have not been good all year. So I feel like they need to attack that right side of the offensive line and just try to slow down CMC as much as they can. And for me, if this defense can hold us in this game in the first half and we have a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter, that's how we pull this out, I think.
Simon, what are you thinking for the Packers defense against the 49ers offense?
I had a lot of basically what Bryant just said, but I also want to kick in there that Joe Barry choosing his blitz packages with some of the players that you don't expect, I think could be huge. Kind of tricking that right side of the offensive line. But yeah, I pretty much had echoed what Brian said, to keep the play action to a minimum, get them in, the second and third and longs, where, they can't really utilize play action like the way they like to.
Bill, you son of a gun, reading right out of my notes. Bill asked, do you think they'll have a spy on McCaffrey? So my notes verbatim say Christian McCaffrey is amazing, easily one of my favorite players, and arguably the best dual threat in the NFL. I'd almost consider using Quay Walker as a spy on Christian McCaffrey instead of the quarterback. I would strongly consider it, Bill. And it doesn't have to be every play, but I think it's definitely going to be something that's worth bringing up, and I would consider it.
McCaffrey's so good at catching, I think he could be a wide receiver one on about half the teams in the NFL. I'm not even shitting you.
You got to tackle that dude. It's a big thing. You got to bring him to the ground. If you get a chance at him, you cannot let him loose.
He's a monster.
So my other things on the offense are, Eric said turnovers will be key in this game, and we're going to get to that too. That's going to come up. Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are a great duo, but the Packers have shown versus Minnesota that without Jair Alexander even, they're capable of defending multiple stud wide receivers. So I'm not to say that I'm not worried about it or anything like that. I'm just saying that they've shown the capability. And the last, I'll let Jake talk about the defense because I want to say something that's a little more all encompassing. But Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Buckle up, boys, is where I did a lot of research. So Bryant, I'm going to continue off of what you were saying, right? You were talking about that right tackle, Colton McKivitz. He did give up 9 sacks. He also gave up 4 hits, 34 hurries, and he had 2 penalties. The right guard, Spencer Burford, he gave up 5 sacks, 2 hits, 26 hurries, and he had 9 penalties.
Damn.
The center, Jake Brendel, had 2 sacks, 3 hits, 24 hurries, and 1 penalty. So they gave up 16 of the 18 sacks the team gave up. They gave up 9 of the 23 hits, 38%, 88% of the sacks. They gave up 84 of the 146 hurries. That's 58%. And they gave up they had 12 of the 13 penalties called on the offensive line. That is 92%.
Yikes.
That's the weak point, right? So then continuing on the offensive line, they are 20th in pass block win rate, and they are 23rd in run block win rate. Attack them, win the goddamn line of scrimmage, because if you let these top 4 guys get out there, we're talking Deebo, we're talking Ayuk, CMC, and Kittle, right? Deebo averages 8.8 yards after catch. Every catch, 8.8 is his average after the catch.
He's the guy you got to bring down.
He doesn't want the title. He's called a wide receiver. He is literally the greatest gadget player in NFL history. I don't care what anybody says. You can line him up at any spot on the field. He's going to catch it. He's going to run it. He's going to get you a lot of yards. Right?
He's like a dual threat the opposite way. Whereas Christian McCaffrey is like a running back who can receive really well. Like Deebo's a receiver who can run really well.
Right. So they had 2,209 total yak yards this year. Run after catch, right? Or rack, yak, whatever you want to call it. 1,853 of them came from the big 4. That is an average of 102.9 per game from those players. Wow. We are going to have to control that. So I wrote in capital letters 3 times, tackle, tackle, and tackle. If we do that, we'll be okay. But it's hard to tackle them. They're very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now the last thing I want to say before we get into some of these segments here is Matt LaFleur brought up rhythm. So people are asking Matt LaFleur, like, how does this compare to the last time he played in the playoffs? Matt LaFleur brought up now that they're on the other side of the coin, whereas the last 2 times they played in the playoffs, the Packers were the 1 seed and they had a bye.
Yep.
Matt LaFleur brought up the rhythm of not having a first-round bye compared to previous matchups where the Packers have just been able to keep rolling. They beat up on Minnesota, they beat Chicago, and they destroyed Dallas, and now that's fed into their confidence. They haven't been, just sitting around waiting to find out who their opponent is going to be. The Packers are just rolling.
Yeah.
So I wanted to throw that out there. Taylor said don't forget to tackle. That's
Please
True.
do not forget, have your tackling shoes on, your tackling pads on, your tackling helmet. Just please tackle.
What do tackling shoes look like?
Ask Quay Walker.
All right, Simon, give me the matchup that you're watching.
Packers defensive line versus the 49ers O-line.
Ooh,
Makes sense. Bryant?
Yeah, same thing. I called out Gary versus McKivitz.
Okay, I like it. Jake, what's your matchup to watch?
Jaden Reed versus the nickelback for the 49ers, Isaiah Oliver. Here's Oliver's stats. You guys are good. Tyler, I already gave you a preview.
I told you I'm on board.
He has 10 missed tackles this year, so that's their weak point right there. Bowling shoes, but better colors. I agree.
Bowling shoes with better colors.
He has been targeted 51 times, and he's given up 46 receptions.
Damn!
He is a little rough, right? 320 yards, a 7-yard average every catch, right? 164 rack, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup, 104.2 quarterback rating when targeted.
Oh,
Take those.
Jaden Reed is going to fillet this motherfucker. Cannot wait.
all right. I'm glad that mine was able to go unnoticed here. I put in work on this too. So mine is Brock Purdy versus the Packers secondary.
All right.
The Packers were able to generate 2 picks versus Dallas. Brock Purdy has 9 interceptions in the 4 losses that he played in. He didn't play in their last loss of the season. Brock Purdy has 9 interceptions in 4 losses, and in 3 of those 4 losses, he had 2 or more interceptions.
Yep.
So I'm watching Brock Purdy versus the Packers secondary.
I like it.
Simon, who is your X factor?
I have the Packers tight ends.
Ooh, I like it. Bryant, who's your X factor?
I went vanilla. I put Aaron Jones. I think if we're going to beat this team and continue to go on, it's going to all stem through Aaron Jones and his ability to continue to run the ball the way he has.
All right, Jake, who's your X factor?
I think the Beatles said it best when they said, all you need is love.
That was a stretch, bro.
No, it was not. All you need is love. Jordan Love was the X Factor last week.
Oh,
He could
man.
be the X Factor this week. He's been the X Factor for this win streak.
I'm glad that I was able to keep this one for myself as well. I went with Lucas Van Ness. I know I'm asking a lot,
Okay.
but as the number 3 edge rusher, if he can make a big impact, I think the Packers will have a very good chance to win this game.
Hey, bringing that up, talking about that, what do you guys think? I know Matt LaFleur is like, I think Brenton Cox or someone else will have to step up. I don't think that's the case. This was late in the season. I think Preston Smith, Gary, and Van Ness need to be just on the field, right? We have a lot of times this will be good for Van Ness because he hasn't got to be on the field a lot with Preston Smith or Gary. So, people are probably more scared of Van Ness rushing the match than they were against Bari, if I'm being 100% honest. But there's no reason for us to force Brenton Cox to have 30 snaps in this game.
He wouldn't be playing 30. I was going to say if he plays at all, it would be like
15.
like 10 or less.
It better be, because think about Gary. We had 89 snaps on defense last game. I know we benched some people. He played 39, I think it was 39 or 40
There's a
snaps.
lot of garbage time in that game.
So, but either way, I'm just saying it's time for them to just reach another level like Preston Smith did to get that sack and just against Dak, and this is it. This is now or never time. So as much as we're gonna get Brenton a few snaps, but there's no reason for them to go wild with it, or them to automatically be like, okay, Lucas Van Ness is on the field, let's automatically put Cox on there.
No, and I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they'll probably try to rotate the 3 of them in, but let me also throw this out there. I could see them using Quay Walker as an outside linebacker a little bit too, especially if
They've
McDuffie
already been doing it, basically.
especially if McDuffie plays, then I could definitely see them doing that more too.
Definitely hope we get the win.
Simon, what is your key to the game?
Slow down the 49ers run game and play action.
Makes sense. Bryant, what's your key?
So I honestly didn't even delete it from my last one. Sustain long drives and keep our defense off the field. So that's exactly what I said last week.
Me too. I got the same one too. But sustain drives. San Francisco is top 10 in basically everything, but time of possession is their lowest at 8th. San Francisco's 4 losses, they lost the time of possession in all of them. And again, I'm not counting that last game of the season because they weren't playing a bunch of starters. So their 4 losses, they lost time of possession in all 4 of them.
Okay.
So, Jake, what's your key to the game?
So I kind of foreshadowed this when I talked about the pass rush from the Cowboys game, where you look at all the good defenses, they really only rush 4 and they're allowed to drop 8 back in the coverage, right? Or 7 back in the coverage.
7.
Math.
Yeah.
So,
I was saying, like, if they're getting away with 12 men, like, fuck it.
yeah, right? Yeah, they might as well, right? But I went Packers D-line depth versus 49ers D-line depth. I think whatever team's depth shows stronger, we talk about depth through the wide receivers, the tight ends, all these positions, right? But I don't think enough people talk about our D-line depth enough. I'm talking Wyatt, Brooks, Wooden, Kenny. I added Smith and Gary in there since they primarily just rush the passer. They do drop back every once in a while. And then you got Bosa, Young, Armstrong, Randy Gregory, and Hargrave over there for the 49ers. So I think whatever position group over there, for either team kind of wins their matchup and kind of owns the line of scrimmage, I think that'll determine a lot for this football game.
I like it. Jake, what's the weather looking like?
Barry? Okay, unresponsive. Weather report, 55 degrees, periods of rain, it says. And then if you scroll down a little bit on the screen, it says 94% chance of rain.
Oh, it's going to rain.
I was going to play it, but you didn't really like my Beatles joke, so I didn't play it. I have it up on the phone, though. But winds southeast at 8 miles per hour, 99% chance of cloud coverage, and 99% chance of the Packers winning. That's my prediction. Here we go.
I like it.
I'm not a fan of the weather for us, to be honest. I feel like they're more equipped to stop the run than us lately, but it's gonna be a game of the trenches if it's raining the whole time.
If they're running left, so just heavy left
side. The ball
side.
being slippery does not benefit Brock Purdy either.
No, it does not. He's played horrible in the rain. Just gonna say that.
That'll say that Ravens game.
Yeah.
Next. Okay. Score predictions. Simon, I'm going to you first. What's your score prediction from the head?
You're deflating an air mattress over there.
I changed my score prediction like 6 times because it's so hard to choose against the Packers because they've been playing such good ball lately.
We do too.
And I also debated on what 49ers team, what kind of 49ers team are we getting based off of where they've been resting? Are they going to come out sluggish, or are they well rested and they're just going to take off? I have us losing this game. It's hard to imagine us going into Santa Clara and beating the crap out of the 49ers the same way we did Dallas. I know we said that last week, but I think the 49ers are just such a superior team to even Dallas. So I have us losing 31-23.
Don't hit it.
What do you got, Bryant?
31-23.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of like Simon said, hopefully, I don't want to say they're feeling themselves a little bit after last week. They've been in, and hopefully they prove us wrong, but I feel like that was such a huge victory for them last week. And now San Francisco ain't sleeping on us, right? Maybe if we just barely squeaked out of Dallas and we both played like crap, they're probably like, yeah, we're whatever, this team is nothing. We woke him up. He started watching video on us halfway through the second quarter. You know what I mean? So I think we have to pull out some stops. I have a bonus Simon Says prediction today.
You would.
Playoff version.
But, I think that's going to, we have a chance, but I do think, man, it'd be tough to win in San Fran, and they're kind of our, our arch nemesis right now in the playoffs. So I do have us losing 31-23.
Go ahead, buddy.
I did also pick San Francisco to win. I do think it's going to be a closer game, and it It may be a little bit of garbage time, you know, like maybe the Packers will score late, but I have San Francisco 30-27.
Oh, okay. So now that it's my turn to talk from the head, I'm just going to give a little update since I forgot to last week. I apologize. I've been keeping scores for the Packers Score Challenge. Congratulations, Bryant. You win.
Yeah.
Did a great job. You're only 17 points away from the total score.
Nice.
Tyler second. I got last. I owe $100 to our sponsorship.
You suck. No, I'm just kidding. It goes to a good cause anyways.
That sucks, but you know what? It's going to a good cause, so I'm happy about that. But my score for this game, I also have Packers scoring 23. I also have San Francisco scoring 25, being a little bit better than us. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. It's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good one. The Packers are going to hang in there, man, and people are really going to be it's going to be an eye opener for a lot of people, I think, because a lot of people have the San Francisco as a class in the NFC, right? So if the Packers are hanging with them and it's a game in the fourth quarter, even going down to the final possession in the divisional round, which, by the way, the 49ers have won, I believe it was 5 straight at home. That includes in the division round, includes 2 against us. And the Packers tied the Patriots last week for most wins in postseason history. If San Francisco wins this game, they make it a 3-way tie at the top for most wins in postseason history. So, sadly, I have San Francisco winning.
I think we're just a year away. I'm really excited
Yep.
for this team, but with the ammunition, a little bit of cap space opening up here in the next
Yep.
few years, you know, you never know. We could shock the world this year, but kind of like we've been talking about all year, we're kind of like 1 year ahead of where Aaron started, and we happen to win the game instead of lose to Arizona, right? So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, and that's the thing where we're all coming from with this before we do our heart predictions, but we are already satisfied with where the Packers are. Really, all we want from this game is to be competitive. Like, I don't want the Packers to lose like 40-10. Like, that would be a bummer. But if it's a close game and we can say next Friday, like, hey, the Packers played the 49ers tough. Like, they left it out there. Like, that's what we want.
I want us to have a chance to win it in the fourth. I don't think we pull it out, but that's what I want.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Just the experience.
If we were to lose, I want us to win. But if we're going to lose, I want it to be that fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Simon, give me your score prediction from the heart.
I think there's a possibility we win this game. I think the last 4 weeks or so, they've been playing extremely well, and I think they can go in there and win this game. I have us winning 30-28.
Ooh, very close. Bill said from the head 24-21 Niners. From the heart 28-27 Packers on a last-second field goal by Carlson.
Let's go.
That
would be wild.
The most hilarious thing of all time.
Break out another apology form while we're at it.
I guess I'd be interested in how a field goal gets us to 28. But that's my prediction. My heart is 28-27 Packers. So he drilled my heart prediction too. Mine was 28-27 Packers, but I'll say by a touchdown leading drive by Jordan Love in the fourth quarter, less than 2 minutes remaining.
So Scott asked, how did the Vikings beat them? I mean, I mentioned already the time of possession is part of it. But that said, Brian, did you give your score? You're from the heart?
Yeah, my heart is the exact same as Bill's, 28-27.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was reading Scott. Scott said 35-38 Pack on a Carlson field goal. I'm just going to ignore Chris's comment because it's clearly false. And I'm the host, so I can do that. My score prediction from the heart. So let me just say this. I don't think this is necessarily going to happen, but I couldn't put it any other way. So the 49ers took 3 straight losses in October, scoring 17 points. And my heart is no longer going to underestimate the Packers offense. So I'm calling for a double up from the heart. I'm going to say 34-17 Packers.
Damn.
Oh, man.
Bro.
That's my heart saying that. That's
Dude,
my
if we
heart.
go in there and beat them 34-17, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to start booking travel.
I agree with you. And I would say this, regardless of who wins this game, whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl. That's how I feel.
I think
I'm
so,
going to be honest. This is really hard for me to say. I can't even look at the camera. If we beat them and Detroit wins, I still see a scenario where we lose to Detroit. Just because.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
Detroit's not going to be there by accident.
But if they win this game, we went through this entire season with no expectations. I was actually talking to my guy at work, Glenn, and I was like, bro, I keep going through the season, no expectations. After big wins, nope, I'm not going there. After losses, nope, I'm not going there. It's going to be really, really hard for my brain not to just go like, we are the best, suck it, we're going to beat every team, we're winning number 5. Like, it's going to be really hard for my brain not to do that, man. I don't know if I'll be able to control it if we beat Tampa.
Or just go scream in your car and just shake the steering wheel and shit.
Dude, I am going to be ungodly toxic if we go to the NFC Championship game.
Dude, just start talking shit to little kids on Madden.
I can't do that. I keep getting banned, okay?
How sick would it be, though? Like, could you imagine if we win this game and then Tampa Bay wins? So we exercise the demons of San Francisco, and then we turn around and exercise the demons of Tampa Bay? Like,
would love that.
They would put a statue of Jordan Love on Lambeau Field this year.
Yes, I'm in.
Did you see that thing?
Like, that's what I meant, just wishful thinking. I don't like. I think we're all level-headed to think we're probably a year or two away yet, but we're all very excited.
Did you see that thing online where it's like Tom Clements deserves his own statue in Detroit or in Green Bay?
Bro,
dude, I'm with it. I'm totally on board.
I think that's. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. If you know, Tom Clements, absolutely.
Taylor,
Jake, what's yours?
Taylor, I still have to play you. You don't want this work, I promise you. My heart prediction is 30-27 Green Bay. Not a game-winning field goal. We get to 30 because we missed extra point. I'm sorry, Anders. I didn't mean to do that. I knew you would like that one, dude. I did that for you, Brian.
Chris said if Green Bay has one thing going for him, it's one of the biggest advantages is they don't have a true number one. I have to imagine it's difficult to build a defensive game plan when the ball is all over the field. Like, where the hell did Melton come from? He came from Seattle's practice squad.
He also came from
Seattle fumbling the bag over there too.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Simon says, Bryant, you have like 7 of them over there, I'm guessing. So I'll let you go first.
All right. You just want all 3 of them or just one?
Let's just do all 3.
Okay. Yeah, let it rip.
So my offensive one, after one catch for 9 yards combined last week, Reed and Watson combined to go for 175 plus yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm with it. I already have Reed penciled in for 110 and 2, so I'm good, bro.
He said 175. Yeah, Watson needs a game. It's been a while. I'm in. Like, I would love that. They just shred them. Yeah, I would love that.
Out there. We all have. Simon says. Simon, do you have any?
I have Gary having a 3-sack game.
Okay. Let me say this. Simon, I'll let you think of another one for offense if you want to, but if anybody's all come true, shirtless outside.
Fuck no, dude. It's like -30 next week.
Fuck it up. It almost happened to me. It can happen to you.
Yetis
I live in -30-degree weather. What do you mean?
If both mine come true, I'll do it.
I'll tell you.
Come up with a super outlandish one for offense then.
Okay. Well, here, how about this? If mine comes true because it's regarding Reed and Watson, if I'll give away, I have a Reed signed a Michigan State card. I'll give it away to a follower on the channel.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm with that. Do you want my offensive one real quick?
No, let Bryant rip all in.
Okay. So my defense, Packers defense produces 5 sacks and 2 turnovers.
Oh,
God damn.
Oh.
Yes to that one.
What was the one where I said no, and now I'm like actually thinking about
We did that in the first half against the Vikings. What's up, Chris? True in the first half.
Don't set up me win. I'll do it.
Rivalry.
I think it's possible. Packers actually been sacking the hell out of quarterbacks lately.
Yeah.
I'm with it. What? Did I say something wrong?
No, you just said something weird. Just caught me at the right moment.
So my last one, my bonus one, right? I think we all believe that if we're going to win this game, we probably need some kind of like defensive special teams touchdown. So my prediction is the special teams, the Packers get a return touchdown this game.
Oh boy.
Nixon, look at this is why I'm thinking this. with the weather, and Moody hasn't been, or I think that's their kicker, right?
Yeah,
Hasn't
Jake
been
Moody.
smoking it through the end zone. I think Nixon's going to get some return opportunities this game. And I feel like, the magic comes to life and he breaks one off, and
Somebody slips trying to tackle him. I could see it.
so that's a pretty bold one, but if we're going to win, we need something like that. So I'm calling for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's either like a special teams play like that or basically perfection on both
I
sides
said
of the
return
ball.
touchdown, but I guess we could expand it to like maybe we could turn around and block a punt on them like they did to us or something.
Right. Jake, you want to go first or you want me to go first with mine?
You go first. I just like Chris's response. That's funny.
Mine are pretty simple. So mine both revolve around the quarterbacks. So mine for offense is Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns, all to different players.
Ooh, I like that.
I love that. I actually do love that. That's awesome. I hope that happens.
And then defense, I had to stick with what I said about Brock Purdy, 3 interceptions.
If we get 3 picks, we're winning.
He has a 1-3 interception game.
He has 2 2s and a 4.
Yeah, he has a 4 interception.
Oh, he has a 4. Who was the 4 verse?
Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the season of giving, remember?
Yeah.
That was the last game he played in Santa Clara, wasn't it? Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know about 3.
Over under on 2.5.
Under.
So you're thinking like 2? You would do 2, but not 3?
Yeah.
All right. I'll stand by what I said. Shirtless outside if it happens, if they both happen. All right, Jake. Give yours.
All right, real quick. Pat myself on the back because I got both mine right last week. I don't even need Simon to tell me if it's going to come true. That's how good I am. But
settle down.
I know. Settle down. I was feeling good for a sec there.
Now you have to take it a step further and make them more ridiculous. So when they happen,
no. I like to use my brain and then think of stuff that can happen. So Musgrave and Kraft last week combined for 5 for 77 and a touchdown. This week, they're going to combine for 8 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. They each get a touchdown. Each are going to get 1 touchdown from Jordan Love to help make Tyler's prediction true so he can run her outside
with it
shirtless.
Yep.
On defense, I went through the rack yards that they have, and I told you they average 102.9 per game. If the Packers are going to win this game, they're going to hold them under 50 rack yards.
Ooh.
That'll be big.
That'd be huge.
I agree, Clark.
I don't think I can go 50.
Yeah, I want to go look.
That would be ridiculous, dude.
I gotta go game by. Oh, that'd be fun.
Let me go like 80.
I could honestly see. I think 80 is more realistic, but it was bold, so I was like, "Fuck it, cut it in half." 50.
I gotta look something up. I mean, it's gonna take a while, but
what are you looking up?
I'm seeing how many yak we give up every week.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I should have also done that before making this prediction. I was just like, yeah, they're pretty good at it. I'm just gonna, cut the number in half.
They're pretty good at this. I'm gonna predict that they do 50% of their normal output.
Okay, that's not bad. We can move along, close it out.
While Simon looks that up, I want to take a second to appreciate everybody who's commenting along. Lots of comments in here. Everybody who stuck around to watch the whole episode, really appreciate it. Think we're planning on doing a post-game live after the game tomorrow. I believe that's the plan. So can hang out with us for that after that.
Yeah,
Chris said going to be tough to keep the yak low with CMC out there and Debo, absolutely. Scott said, I hope it's a close game. No blowouts. Unless it's in favor of Green Bay, then I'll take a blowout. But
that's also
yes, and that's the thing we said. We just want everything to be competitive at the end of the day, and just feel like the Packers had a chance. That's what we're after. So, Simon, you almost done doing some research over there, or?
So far, I'm on week 11. There's only been one game where we allowed less than 50 yards.
Oh, okay. I mean, we got 19 people waiting for your answer, so I'm committed now too.
Looking at this, I'm going no. that'd be a stout game.
Chop, PFF monkey.
Yeah,
I'm working.
He said no.
Did you guys see JJ Watt
no,
on Pat McAfee show? By the way, dude, he literally shit on PFF.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like
that. Bill said the Badgers won.
Yeah, I know.
The thing is, like, he was only really shitting on the grades. Like the rest
was.
of it, like
we do.
say, yeah, that's what kind of what we do is we don't necessarily use the grades all the time. But it's a good, useful tool. Okay, here's another.
I think they tell like a baseline story, but not the whole thing, and I think
Right.
they try to get too cute with it.
He did kind of shit on them overall, saying that like they come in there and they act like they're smarter and they have better ways to do stuff. And
Yeah,
but
everyone that creates a tool is gonna act like that though, because they want to say that their tool is the best and they did some sort of algorithm or whatever
Yeah, I don't like the grades either, but
game
is a good baseline to kind of get a feel for.
Who was it against?
I'll give you guys a guess.
Bears.
Who was it against?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guess.
Bears.
No, close.
Falcons.
The Bears was the next closest game.
Chris said
Chargers.
Was it the Vikings?
Oh no, the Chargers killed us.
It was the Rams.
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 Oh yeah, probably should have been able to guess
I
that.
should have known that. I was at that game, and they didn't do nothing. So.
Jason said Packers 38, 49ers 31.
That would be exciting. That would be exciting.
I mean, both teams are top 10 in red zone opportunities.
Yeah, and we
saw the Packers score long touchdowns last week. So
yep.
They both are top 5 in motion usage as well. I mean, nobody's near the freaking Dolphins, but they're both top 5 in that, 3 and 4 in that. So they run. These teams mirror each other. It's just that the 49ers are a team that is veteran, been in the playoffs, and their Super Bowl window's kind of closing, in my opinion. They have a lot of guys that are getting older and a lot of guys that are going to be up for contract soon. I was kind of doing a little research on that. And then you have the Packers that are just restarting everything, but with the same product that they're putting out there in terms of scheme, especially on the offensive side, it's going to be interesting. Going to be the chess match.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So again, thanks everybody for watching, commenting. We will probably see you guys tomorrow night. Otherwise, next Friday we'll be back to recap the game. So again, thanks everybody for commenting and sticking around. We'll see you guys later.
Peace out. Here we go.
Here we go.